Imagine fighting an enemy who literally cannot be touched. Every attack passes through him. Every shot from his rifle pierces anything in its path. No armor can stop it. No defense can block it. And even the strongest captains in Soul Society are powerless against him. Yet somehow, Shunsui Kyoraku managed to push this monster to the brink using one of the most terrifying Bankai in all of Bleach. This is the story of Kyoraku versus Lille Barro. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel for more anime breakdowns and character analyses. Lille Barro wasn't just another Sternritter, he was Yhwach's first Quincy, the leader of the elite Schutzstaffel, a warrior personally chosen to stand at the king's side, and many fans consider him the strongest Quincy after Yhwach himself. His ability was called the X-Axis. At first, it looked like a powerful sniper rifle, but the reality was much more terrifying. Lille's attacks didn't fire bullets. Instead, they instantly pierced everything between him and his target. Distance didn't matter, walls didn't matter, defense didn't matter. If Lille aimed at you and pulled the trigger, you were already hit. There was no dodging it, no blocking it, no escaping it, and that made him one of the most broken characters in the entire series. Standing against him was Shunsui Kyoraku, a captain many people underestimated. Most of the time, Kyoraku looked lazy. He drank sake, avoided paperwork, and spent more time relaxing than training. But beneath that carefree smile was one of the smartest and deadliest captains in Soul Society. Unlike Kenpachi, Kyoraku didn't rely on overwhelming strength. He relied on strategy, experience, and deception. At the beginning of the battle, Kyoraku used his Shikai, Katen Kyokotsu. This wasn't a normal Zanpakuto. Its abilities turned children's games into reality. The rules of battle constantly changed. One moment advantage belonged to Kyoraku. The next moment it belonged to Lille. It was unpredictable and dangerous. Even someone as powerful as Lille was forced to take the fight seriously. For a while, Kyoraku managed to keep up. But then Lille revealed his true power. After opening both eyes, Lille underwent a transformation that pushed him beyond ordinary Quincy's. His body became intangible. Attacks passed right through him. Swords became useless. Physical damage became impossible. For the first time, Kyoraku found himself facing an opponent he couldn't truly harm. The situation grew worse with every passing second. Lille's attacks continued to tear through the battlefield. Soul Society's strongest captain was running out of options. And that's when Kyoraku decided to use the power he rarely ever unleashed, his Bankai. The moment Kyoraku activated Bankai, the atmosphere completely changed. The battlefield became dark, cold, heavy. It felt less like a fight and more like a nightmare. Unlike other Bankai that create giant explosions or overwhelming power, Kyoraku's Bankai creates a tragic play, a story where the ending is already decided, and everyone trapped inside must perform their role. The first act begins. In this stage, wounds are shared between both participants. Pain becomes mutual, suffering becomes unavoidable. No matter how powerful you are, you cannot escape the consequences. Then comes the second act. A terrible disease spreads through the opponent. Despair begins to consume them. Their body weakens. Their hope fades. The play slowly drags them toward death. The third act is even darker. Both fighters are pulled into an endless sea of darkness. Spiritual energy begins to drain away. The deeper they sink, the closer they move toward their inevitable end. There is no escape, no rescue, only darkness. And then comes the final act, the conclusion of the tragedy. A white thread appears around the opponent's neck. The play reaches its climax. The thread tightens, the curtain falls, and the victim is executed. It is one of the most disturbing Bankai in Bleach, not because it destroys mountains, not because it creates massive explosions, but because it feels inevitable, like death itself. For the first time in the battle, Lille Barro was truly pushed to the edge. But there was one problem. Lille Barro wasn't a normal opponent. Even after surviving the final act, he transformed once again. His appearance became almost angelic, a divine being rather than a Quincy. At this point, he seemed completely impossible to kill. Kyoraku had already used everything he had. His body was damaged. His spiritual pressure was nearly exhausted. And yet, Lille continued to stand. Victory seemed impossible. Then came the moment nobody expected. Nanao entered the battle. For years, she had remained in the background as Kyoraku's lieutenant. But now she revealed the secret weapon hidden within her family, a divine sword capable of reflecting the power of gods. Using this sacred blade, Nanao redirected Lille's own holy power back at him. For the first time, Lille was struck by the very divinity that made him untouchable. The seemingly immortal Quincy finally fell, and the battle came to an end. What makes this fight so memorable isn't just the action, it's what it reveals about Kyoraku, behind the jokes, behind the smile, behind the relaxed personality. Exists a man willing to carry unimaginable burdens to protect Soul Society, a leader who understands sacrifice, a captain who knows that sometimes victory comes at a terrible cost. Kyoraku didn't defeat Lille because he was stronger. He defeated him because he was smarter, more experienced, and willing to do whatever was necessary. His Bankai isn't the most destructive in Bleach. It isn't the flashiest, but it might be the most terrifying. A power so dangerous that even allies are warned to stay away when it's released. And that's why Shunsui Kyoraku remains one of the most feared captains in the history of Soul Society. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more anime explanations, character breakdowns, and Bleach content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.